So this is just my final thoughts on the Ugas versus Pacquiao fights that's going to happen tonight. In my opinion, I feel like Ugas may be a banana skin for Pacquiao. Now, there's several reasons why I believe this. First of all, the fact is, Ugas is a completely different style than Errol Spence. Errol Spence was the opponent that Pacquiao was preparing for the last several months. So the fact that 2 weeks out from the fight, he's going to have to change his whole training camp and prepare for a fighter who has a completely different style to Spence, I think that's going to play in Ugas's favour, because for Pacquiao to do that is going to be a bit of a drain on his resources, in terms of he's literally going to have to change everything around, and it also takes a lot of mental strain as well. On top of that, I think he was super motivated for a fight against Spence. I feel like he was feeling like, you know what, Spence is a complete animal, and I'm going to have to be on my A game to beat this young lion. Now, don't get it twisted, Ugas in his own right is a very dangerous fighter, but I feel like he doesn't pose the same physical threat that Errol Spence does. Errol Spence is legitimately one of the most dangerous fighters at welterweight. So like he just doesn't pose the same threat that Errol Spence does. But in my opinion, the fact is, Ugas is I think he's a dark horse of the division. I feel like he's very underrated. A lot of people don't give him the credit that he deserves. A lot of people that were unbiased thought that he beat Sean Porter, who's a legitimate top 5 welterweight. So let's be real. Ugas is no joke. Ugas is a legitimate threat to Pacquiao. On top of that, if you look at it in terms of activity, Ugas in the last 3 years has fought 8 times. He's the most active welterweight in boxing at this point in time. Now, if you compare that to Pacquiao's his last fight was against Furman, which was 2-3 years ago, right? So I feel like it's fair to say Ugas is probably going to be a little bit sharper than him. On top of that, you got the age. I feel like it's fair to say Ugas is in his prime right now. Pacquiao is 43, coming off a 2-3 year layoff. He's got a high level win against Keith Furman. But on top of that, like he's going up there against a young, in his prime, big welterweight. And on top of that, I know like size does matter. There's a reason why there's weight classes in boxing, but the fact remains, I feel like it's fair to say that Pacquiao is going in there against a fighter that is bigger than him. He's got bigger reach. He's taller. And on top of that, when I saw the weigh-in, Ugas looks in tremendous shape. He looks like he's ready to go to 15 rounds. How good he's looking. He's got Salas in his corner, who's a top trainer. And I heard somewhere, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I actually heard that Salas was actually in the corner of the opponent that actually beat Pacquiao for his second loss in his career. He gave Pacquiao his second loss, and that was about 20 years ago. So I think Salas is quite familiar with Pacquiao. So I feel like there may be an upset coming. I just feel it in my bones. I feel it in my intuition. I just feel like, there's something about this fight that just feels off. The fact that the last opponent changed, the fact that he's going in there against a dark horse of the division that's hungry, the fact that he's going in there against someone who's been very active, the fact that he's fighting someone who's a complete animal. Let's be real, man. Ugas is no joke. I mean, his amateur credentials speak for himself. I think he won a bronze medal, and on top of that, like he's going in there against a legit fighter. Like Ugas is no joke. I mean, let's not get it twisted now. So yeah, in my opinion, this is a legitimate fight, and I think I feel like Pacquiao's gonna have a hard fight here at least. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it's gonna be a hard fight. In terms of my pick, I'm still leaning towards Pacquiao, but if there's a banana. I feel like Ugas is a banana skin for Pacquiao. I think there's just so much going into this fight that just doesn't look good for Pacquiao, in my opinion. So yeah, because of that reason, I just got an inkling that Ugas can pull off the upset. I just got a feeling, but at the same time, I'm still going to go for Pacquiao, because I mean, Pacquiao is, for all intents and purposes, is an absolute legend, and he's done so much great things for the sport, and I just feel like I feel like I owe it to him to pick him because of how many great fights he's given us over the years. But And on top of that, he's been training really hard. But I feel like I can somewhat smell an upset. I just feel like there may be an upset coming. It could just be my intuition. It could just be ridiculous, but I just feel like there may be an upset coming. So yeah, tell me your opinion. Who do you think is going to win this fight? And just to say, I feel like Pacquiao looked good on the scales as well. But I feel like Ugas looked very lean, and he looked like he was ready for business. So seeing both of them together, I just feel like the opportunity has come for them to show themselves up and see who is the best, who is the best between the two. And I'm looking forward to tonight. I'm really looking forward to this fight because I feel like it's the end of an era. I mean, Pacquiao's entertained me for the past 15 years. Seeing him now, he said this might be his last fight, so I'm definitely going to be watching tonight. So the fact that it's Pacquiao's last fight, I mean, this is a legitimate legend. I think he could have competed in any era of boxing. That includes the Four Kings, by the way. I mean, I would have loved to have seen him in there with the Four Kings, like the Sugar Ray Leonards, the Roberto Durans, the Thomas Hearns, the Marvin Haglers. I would have loved to have seen him in that mix. I think he's a fighter that could have competed in any era, even the 50s as well, when he had the likes of the Sugar Ray Robinsons and such. I think he could have competed in any era. The 90s with the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Pernell Whitakers. He could have been part of, I think in his prime, when he was at light welterweight and welterweight, I think he could have been in that mix as well. I think he would have competed with all of them and may have beaten a few of them as well, because that's how elite he is. So yeah, this is an end of an era for me, because Pacquiao has entertained me for the past 15 years. So I'm definitely going to be watching this fight, and if it is his last fight, then it's going to be sad to see him go. But I'm just glad that I've got a lot of good memories seeing him compete at such a high level for such a long time. And to some extent, if he gets a win against Ugas, I mean, knowing Pacquiao, he wants to push himself and he wants to get a fight against Errol Spence, and he wants to fight like I heard he wants to fight Josh Taylor for all the belts, which is crazy to me, in the UK. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this fight, and I hope it's an entertaining fight, and I hope we just get a competitive fight that is somewhat entertaining. So yeah, that's my opinion. That's who I think is gonna win. Who do you think having? I pick Pacquiao, but if an upset happens, I will not be surprised, just because the scenario of this particular fight, it feels like there may be an upset coming. But yeah, that's my opinion. Tell me your opinion below, and like and subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more content coming your way. Peace out.